I mean, Isabella is always a powerful speaker, always a powerful voice to follow up. We are living in a period of abandonment. There is no other word to describe what is occurring. The people who are saying just get a job, many of us have jobs. The homeless have jobs. Part of the reason why COVID spread throughout the long-term care home system, especially the privatized long-term care home systems, was because the people who were working in those long-term care home systems were also living in shelters. This is what the military discovered when they went in. They discovered that the people working in the long-term care home systems were also living in the shelters. We are being abandoned. And I understand every police officer here is just doing his duty, maintaining the order, being an upstanding citizen, but we are structurally being abandoned. The confrontations that are arising in our society are not personal. They are structural. I think when it comes to Doug Ford, it may be personal. I think he probably doesn't care too much about us.
Arrest Doug Ford.
And we can prevent it. It's obvious what needs to be done. It's clear. And what's the most embarrassing, and this is going to break your hearts and blow your minds if you've got either of those. It is cheaper. It is cheaper to provide housing and shelter and food to homeless and poor people than have food banks, pay for police officers, pay for emergency care, pay for emergency services. It is cheaper to simply provide the base necessities of our existence than it is to maintain this system we currently have. And so what that means for the taxpayers who care so much about paying taxes is that you are paying more to keep people homeless. That is a truism. That is mathematically accurate. You are paying more in your taxes to ensure that there are homeless people sleeping in the park. It costs you more. And it's so obvious, and it's so clear, and it's so apparent now that many of us are beginning to draw the logical conclusion, the deeply dark and unfortunate conclusion, that that's the way the wealthy want it. That the wealthy are happy paying extra. The wealthy are happy to pay extra in order to have desperate, homeless, poverty-stricken poor people, because then those people will take 2, 3, and now it's getting to be 4 jobs in order to not even still pay the rent and not even still pay for food and electricity. The dynamic that we are living in now, structurally, is that the wealthy want to impoverish us. They want to impoverish us and keep us poor and homeless and desperate so that they can exploit us. It's become extremely obvious. And how do we know that that is the case, that it must be the case? Because they're spending more to do it. Because they're spending more to do it. I'm told all the time, business is efficiency. I'm told all the time that corporations make decisions for their bottom line. You've heard it, I've heard it. It is a constant refrain. Another truism. And if that is the truth, then reach into your heart and ask yourself the question, why are they spending more to keep people homeless, to keep people on the streets, to keep people desperate, to keep people scrabbling around? If all they care about is their profits and their bottom line, why would they do that? The CERB was passed in a week. When the wealthy were afraid for their own health and safety, they took the appropriate measures immediately. It took less than a week to give working Canadians $2,000 a month. We are choosing this path. We are deciding to do this. The question then becomes, why? What kind of a people, when faced with the question of spend more to keep people homeless or spend less to alleviate and ameliorate poverty and homelessness, what kind of a people chooses to increase the suffering of their fellow citizens, their brothers, and their sisters? The police officers here are here to serve and protect.
They're rich.
Do you feel you are serving and protecting even yourselves? Do you feel that your families, that your children, that your parents, that your cousins will be served and protected by a system that chooses willfully to abandon enormous sections of your society? Thank you.